Hey everybody, welcome back to Card Curiosity, where we try to find the best possible ways to make a good return on your investment in the sports card world. And today we have a new Rip It or Skip It episode where we are going to look at the brand new to release today on March 4th, Bowman University Chrome Basketball 2024 and 2025 season. And of course, Cooper Flagg is in here. He's going to be the big chase. But before we kind of jump in, let me remind you what our framework is for these Rip It or Skip It videos. We kind of break down whether you should buy a product based on 4 different things. The first is going to be the price. Can you get it for a good deal or not? Is it too expensive? The second is the checklist. We need to make sure that the players in the product are, in fact, good players and their cards are going to be worth money. Third is the grading potential. The best way to make money and juice your returns is going to be by sending your cards to PSA and getting good grades. So we got to make sure that these cards are gradable. And then finally, the fourth category we look at is the desirability of the card. Is this something that people are going to want to collect for many, many years to come, or is this particular set going to be an afterthought? So let's jump in. Bowman University Chrome Basketball. All right, so what we have this year from Topps.com, this is their website. It's going to be just like it was the last few years. You can see what the cards look like. You're going to have college basketball players here, both male and female. And so that's good. Last year, of course, they had Caitlin Clark and some others. And this year, the big chase is Cooper Flagg. It's going to be his Bowman first. And he is projected to be the #1 draft pick. He's a phenomenal player. He's got some hype around him. They even put out a little video like this to kind of celebrate his first cards here. And so Cooper Flagg is the guy. He's the whole product pretty much. But here's what the prices are going to look like. 1 hobby box for $180, and you get 2 autographs in there. Okay. They also have mega boxes for $50, and I don't see anything. It's not like football where they don't seem to have jumbo boxes. There might be blaster boxes at some point, I would guess, but it looks like here in the megas you get these green shimmer parallels. So on the price score, we're going to give it a 4 out of 5 because it is less than $200, and these days it's hard to find a box of cards for $200 or less, especially when you get 2 autographs. So price is pretty good. We'll give them that. Let's jump into the checklist. And so checklist wise, over here at Beckett kind of breaks down what you get. And so you have 100 players in here for the base set. And so a lot of times we see 200. I know football was 200, which was a ton. 100 is better, but there's just not that many basketball names, unfortunately. And our experience from last year is that their cards in basketball just don't go quite as much, except for the absolute superstars. So Caitlin Clark last year, her cards were the best. And I think prior year would have been Wemby potentially. And so superstar cards seem to be the only ones that tend to go for a good amount. You have 100 base cards, 100 autographs, and so 100 people that sign in here means that you get 2 autographs per box. You got a 2% chance of getting the player that you actually want, the player whose cards are going to be worth money and help you get your money back. And so that's not a very good checklist, in my opinion. It's going to be super hard to get your money back out of this product. And so we're going to give this checklist a 2 out of 5. It maybe should be lower, but the fact that there's only 100 instead of 200 it probably helps a little bit, and you can get Cooper Flagg and maybe get lucky. So 2 out of 5 on the checklist. Next, let's jump into the gradability. And in previous years, these cards grade pretty well. You can see the base cards over here gemmed at about a 65% rate back in 2023. And the autographs are a little bit lower though, so that's kind of disappointing. Sapphire, which, this video isn't about Sapphire. Those aren't coming out yet, but Sapphire's about the same. And so 65% on the gem rate is pretty good. You can grade these cards and get 10s. But the autographs those are the cards you'll mostly want to grade, only at 36% last year. It kind of makes me a little nervous. So we're going to give the grading potential a 3 out of 5 here on our checklist, just because the autograph portion is lower. And then let's jump into the desirability here. And the way we kind of measure that is just to think about, is this going to be an iconic card for any of the big players? And it seems to be, at least on the baseball side, it definitely is. Football, it's kind of, waiting to be seen. You have Bowman cards, Bowman first of college players like Caleb Williams and Drake May and things like that. And, once they get rookie cards, I think those kind of seem to take precedence. And so baseball is definitely important. I do think basketball is maybe Bowman cards are going to be a little more important than the college football version. But anyway, let's look at Caitlin Clark. These are a handful of her different Bowman cards. We have the base card from 2022. This is her first. And so you can see, if we look at just how that card has done, it is a $110 card right now in a PSA 10. And the reason I'm using Caitlin is because she's a clear superstar. And we have a clear superstar here in the product this year in Cooper Flagg. And so we could see something similar from him if he turns out to be as good as everyone expects. If we go back to all data, let's see what we have here. So, Caitlin's cards going back to early 2023, they dipped and then they went back up, and then you had, March Madness and the draft and everything else. And she, of course, did really well her rookie season of the WNBA. And so we saw them spike up to, almost $300. And now they have settled down here in the $110 range. And so a $110 base card for Caitlin Clark in PSA 10 is kind of where we're sitting right here. And I think Cooper Flagg could have similar hype with March Madness, with the draft, and so I wouldn't be surprised if his base PSA 10 cards are going for, $150 to $200 or so leading up to his first NBA season. On the autograph side, if we check out Caitlin's first autograph for the last 365 days, that's where we're at. If we look at, since they were released, obviously she had a whole bunch of hype, and they went up here, and they've kind of stayed pretty high in the $1,000 range. And so a base autograph for Cooper Flagg likely won't be $1,000 yet unless he has an insane NCAA tournament here later in the month, or has an insane rookie season, and he doesn't have rookie cards out yet for a little while, and the only cards you can buy are his autographs from Duke. I would expect, if he's going crazy, to see his Duke autograph cards go up quite a bit. And then we have the other autograph here. This is the 2023 autograph, and so it's not a first, and so that one is at $650. It is less than the first, which is $930. That makes sense. People like the first. It's almost like the first card or the first rookie card, pre-rookie card kind of thing. So desirability-wise, I think for basketball, for Bowman basketball, a big player like Cooper Flagg, like Caitlin Clark, I think they can always be somewhat iconic and somewhat desired, and especially until their rookie cards come out. So Cooper Flagg probably has a decent runway here to make money and to have desirability. So I'm going to give the desirability a 4 out of 5, and that's going to give us a total here on the entire checklist of 13 out of 20, which is not quite good enough for us to recommend it. And I think the main reason is just that checklist. It's going to be so hard to find Cooper Flagg cards. Just to give you an idea, again, here I'm jumping to eBay and some sold listings on Caitlin. Going back a little bit, you can see what some of her autographs have sold for here recently. PSA 10 Refractor went for $3,300. Here's another one, Refractor out of $499, PSA 10, $3,300. Will Cooper Flagg get to that level? I don't know. I think it just depends how he plays and how much hype is behind him. But I think March Madness can bring out a whole lot of hype. And we won't have graded cards of his by then from this set, but we could see his autograph shoot up if he plays well. So that's going to do it here for this video. 13 out of 20. We're going to recommend that you skip it and instead focus on the singles of players that you desire. Go for Cooper Flagg, go for Juju Watkins, any other players from the schools that you like. Find them on eBay or other places instead. Save yourself the money. I think our approach for this particular product is going to be, instead of buying a case, we might spend that amount of money on just Cooper Flagg cards because I think he's the guy. And we'll try to spend, make a $2,000 investment in Cooper and see if we can't turn it into $3,000 or $4,000 through grading and through the hype that we believe is coming here in the next 6 to 12 months. So hope you enjoy this. Until next time. Stay curious.